Good morning. I had a few choice words to say late last night, but I didn't want to wake up the lady with all my screaming, so I decided to get some rest and waste no time upon waking up in calling you out. You know who I'm talking to. So, you seem to be focused on. If I go out and I talk to a bunch of bankers, or I'm at a conference and I'm just handshaking a bunch of suits at a party or something and trying to explain to them what I do. Well, I don't really do that, and that's not really who I'm talking about. But I think even if I was talking to anyone like that, if I was wasting my time with anyone like that, they'd know what indie means. So that's not a problem, I guess. But yeah. So here's who I am talking about. Let's say my family. My mom and my dad don't really understand how I sit in the industry. And they didn't until I did a long, drawn out conversation with them, and then I truncated that word to indie. And they understand that, and they see the correlation between when I say indie and when they hear about indie music or indie whatever, indie films, right? So they get it. Um, when I'm talking to like my little brother, so that he understands that I'm not making Wii games, and this is why. When I'm talking to like my friends aren't limited to the indie crowd. I have a bunch of friends that don't know the first thing about computers, right? And I have to relate to them what I'm doing for a living. I don't have to, but I'd like to. And one of the most important ones, though, is when I go up to, so there's a university here, and they have some uh, just starting out game design courses. And I've been up there to speak to them twice now, and hopefully I'll go back more. But basically, one of my goals in life is to help spread the indie gospel, as I like to call it. And the reason is because these are like first year students I'm talking to, and for the most part, none of them even know it's possible to make games with a team of less than 30. Like, it blows me away that that is the common knowledge out there. And when I'm talking to them, or yeah, when I'm talking to anyone, I always have those students in mind. It's amazing how little people know about the industry. Some people have never heard the term indie game before, which is just crazy in my mind. So just by using the word, you're spreading awareness that the things that we do are possible. And here's a conversation that I'd hate to happen. I'd hate to be on the bus or something and someone seeing me doing something and saying, "Oh, hey, Kat, um, what do you do?" And then I'll pull a Mike Kasperzak and be like, "I make games. I make good games." And then we might have a little conversation around that, and then they get inspired, and then they try to follow in your footsteps. So they go and interview at EA and get a job. Like, that's not the result of that conversation that I want. Here's how I fuck you, cat. So here's how I want the conversation to go. I meet someone maybe at one of my meetup events in town here. We get like 20, 30 people every 2 weeks, so that's a pretty good sized meetup. But we always have new people show up. And I always introduce myself, shake my hand, and say, "Hey, I'm Andy. I'm the indie game developer that organizes this event." And if they don't know what indie means, and if they don't know what's entailed, then we usually have a very, very productive conversation. And the people I talk to are inspired to quit their job and to join the indie cause, I guess. I can't say I directly inspired anyone, within a few hours to quit their job, but I'm saying, like, just by giving people the awareness, they're able to better make a decision, I guess. Because people don't know what we do is possible. So when we're talking about what we do, we have to tell them that we're doing that impossible thing you've never heard of. We're not just making games. We're doing so much more than that. And we should be proud of that. And I don't think we should be keeping it secret. Sure, I think there should be a better word for it. Maybe indie's been captured by the marketing folk, and that pisses me off. But every good term's been like that. I mean, they sold refrigerators with like hippie logos built into them, right? Like, I mean, everyone's gonna pay back and everything. So I think indie's fine still, but if you have a better word and it gets adopted and it makes sense, so like when I tell someone, when I do a Fugelblatts game, then they'll understand that. I'll gladly adopt it. But yeah.